These weren't Dylan Thomas's heron-crested shores. Yet it's these cottages that will be famous and these mortals who'll achieve immortality as the celluloid citizens of Llareggub. This, it seems likely, will be the living set for a major film version of Dylan's classic, Under Milkwood. Not Laugharne, where he wrote it, but Lower Town Fishguard, where he didn't even write a couplet. It's been chosen for its quaintness and its curiosity as a place where modernization hasn't intruded. What Dylan missed, the filmmakers will immortalize as the home of Captain Cat, Organ Morgan, and Polly Garter. The company will need at least 50 hotel rooms, cottages to rent, accommodation suites above Fishguard Bay, and the patience to cope with those who come hoping to glimpse Burton and Taylor and Peter O'Toole, who've been invited to head the cast. But Milkwood didn't exactly win the affection of Laugharne and its people whom Dylan cartooned, so will Lower Town Fishguard be any happier in the film role of a caricatured village with its soul laid bare?
It's nice to know that they have decided, I'm sure all the Fishguard people and especially Lower Town people will be very glad that they have decided to film this here. This is the second time we've had film stars here now. We've had the Moby Dick before, and I think it was a great success, and it's surely will put Lower Fishguard and Fishguard on the map once again.
The tourist industry, of which I'm chairman of the Welsh Pembrokeshire Association, are of course very pleased because this will have far-reaching effects. The film is aimed at the American market, which is the market we are also aiming at. And I'm sure nothing but good will come out of this for the future. It must be good.
You know, Llareggub in Dylan Thomas's Under Milkwood wasn't really a very moral village. Do you think Lower Town Fishguard will have this kind of image if this film is made here?
Oh no, I don't think so. I think Lower Town's a very respectable place and a little bit of excitement will give it a boost. No, I don't think so at all.
You don't think that people in America perhaps will really think this is the home of Polly Garter and all the other rather immoral characters?
No, I don't think so. It'd be rather fun if they did.
I don't think they'll have a wrong impression of the village in any way. And I don't think if they did anyway that the locals would have anything against it.
No doubt the film would ensure Fishguard's fame. The publicity value would be incalculable, the tourists uncountable. But how do the people of the real Milkwood country react to being bypassed for a place Dylan scarcely knew? In the true Butcher Bynon land, Butcher Einan makes his point.
Yes, I will, certainly. I don't see it right that this film should be thrown down at Fishguard. How many the characters are in that film that's living at Fishguard? Where it is should be thrown at Laugharne, where all the characters really come from.
But you see, when Dylan wrote Under Milkwood, he made a bit of fun of the people who live in Laugharne, and you were one of them. Aren't you perhaps a little bit glad that someone else might now have fun made of them if the film is made at Lower Fishguard?
Well, it looks that way to me. But when Dylan has to come in the shop here, buy a little meat, and he'd always say, well, he was going to make a play and he was busy at it, and you will be in this play. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Miss Thomas. What is it? Ah, well, you'll see. Wait and see. You'll hear one day.
Key Street is Cockle Street. Minnie Thomas lives in the home of Captain Cat. Bear Cottage is the Sailor's Arms, and Evans the Death is a new rival for Danny Thomas, undertaker and cabinet maker. Llareggub lives. And even if there are false facades, the reality of Dylan's dream is being fashioned here with as much attention to fact as it's possible to find in a poet's fantasy. The blueprint is Dylan's own sketch of Llareggub. In all, 5 complete properties. Among them, Mog's Emporium, Butcher Bynon's Place, and Dai Bread's are having to be specially built. So is a clock tower and a parish pump. This cottage, the home of Evans the Death, prefabricated in plasterboard, has gone up in less than a week to help create the magic of Dylan's imaginary village. Now it's Captain Cat's home that's being tailored to the screenplay. It's being given a balcony to turn it into Schooner House, where Cat's film world fantasies will make it a ship's prow. Yet remarkably little needs to be done to bring Llareggub to life here. It's as close to a mixture of all Wales's small seaports as Dylan Thomas himself might have got. All that needs to be done now is turn the clock back 30 years, and that'll be done by introducing the trappings of time. An old baker's handcart, like this one. The handcart of some other traditional tradesman. And the streets will be populated by ducks and donkeys and goats to evoke the atmosphere of Dylan's Llareggub. Almost all the living props have been found locally, but the main concern of the filmmakers now is whether they'll all turn up here on time for their first photo call. This, then, is the make-believe world, half fantasy, half fact, into which Richard Burton will step this week. Welcome to Wales.
Well, it's nice to be back.
How long, in fact, is your location filming here going to take you?
We hope not more than 2 days. We'd like it to be longer, and indeed we'd stay here forever if my wife were here. But she can't be here because she's shooting with Susanna York.
I think very many people here will be sorry that she hasn't been able to accompany you on this occasion.
Well, there are quite a few people here, but I imagine that if she were here, we'd have to get the police out or something.
You knew Dylan Thomas well, of course. You and he acted together back in the late 1940s, I believe. Do you think this personal contact with him helps you to bring an extra sympathy and subtlety to his work under Milkwood?
Well, it was impossible to know Dylan well, you know, because he was a very strange and remarkable genius. And though he was an acquaintance of mine, I wouldn't claim to know him as a friend, because he was very devious and very difficult and of course, a genius. So I don't quite know what to say about him. However, I do appreciate his language and his works and so on.
I gather that you're taking a percentage of the profits from this film. So, to what degree does your decision to take part in it rely on patriotism, your patriotism for Wales, rather than the more pecuniary aspects involved?
Well, I would think that none of us are terribly concerned about the financial aspect of it, but if you want to talk about the financial aspect, there's my agent, or at least my manager, who will tell you exactly what. I've no idea what it's about.
It was back in 1954 when you first played the part of First Voice in the radio production of Under Milkwood. In fact, you took over the part that Dylan himself was going to play on that occasion, just before he died.
So, yes.
Is this then perhaps a sentimental occasion for you?
No, there's no sentiment associated with my particular attitude towards this thing. It's just that I absolutely adore what Dylan wrote, and hopefully, let's hope it'll be all right, you know, when it comes out.
Do you really think it's going to be possible to translate Dylan's rather unusual imagery into celluloid and to make a film of Under Milkwood?
Well, I don't know. Since it's a play for voices, it's very difficult to know whether they can translate it into visual terms, but that's something that the director has to sort out. All we do, he and I and Peter O'Toole and Elizabeth Taylor, is to do the other stuff as well as we can. And then, from then on, it's up to the director.
Richard Burton, many thanks to you. I hope you have a pleasant stay.
Thank you very much.